Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Saturn Slam Review Jamboree Spectacular Three-Handled Moss-Covered Family Gradunzel. Um,
Uh,
we're reviewing
we're doing
Battleground
Battleground,
2016.
boys and girls,
And
and
Goyams.
other. Yeah, I know you. I know you, Zanzibars.
And Ocean Men. Um, so we'll just go through the card in order this time. Actually, well, first off, I'd say probably the best show so far this year.
Yeah, it had a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. A little bit better than Money in the Bank, which was a little bit better than Payback.
It
So
featured an amazing match,
yeah,
like
I'd say two of them
super
actually.
good.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah, the main event didn't disappoint, and on any other night it would have been match of the night, except for tonight because there was another match of the night candidate. So here we go.
Yes.
Let's not push it off any
Oh
longer.
wow,
The
we'll get to that one.
the better late than
But yeah,
never
let's start this
edition.
off.
Better late than never edition. We start on the pre-show, which featured a tag team match between SmackDown tag teams Breezango, Tyler Breeze. We know what? Fuck it, Febreze. That's a much better name for this tag team. I
Please.
don't care about copyright. We don't have to worry about that. They're fucking Febreze. You can shove this Breezango bullshit up your asshole. And they faced off the Usos in a quick match, which somewhat surprisingly saw Breezango go over. And they haven't appeared on SmackDown since.
Hey. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really know much about these teams, and um, I also didn't realize this is just me not having done a lot of these big events. I didn't realize that the kickoff like had a match in it. I thought it was just like one of these panel segments,
It's mostly the panel segments, but
so I didn't
occasionally,
pay
yeah, they,
super attention to it.
yeah. But that was the pre-show match.
Hmm?
Nothing too spectacular. They
Okay.
opened with the women's match, which was a Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Sasha Banks and a mystery partner. Sasha and Dana came out, and then Sasha came out, and we waited with bated breath for the mystery partner, which turned out to be the future Mrs. Bennett herself,
hmm
Bailey. And Bailey was
Yeah.
probably the most over person on the show tonight. The crowd went nuts when she came out. So if you think that she's not going to get over in the
hmm
main roster and that's why you're keeping her in the NXT, you are wrong. However, they're keeping her in NXT because the announcers made very clear to inform everyone that this was a one-time deal. Which was kind of ridiculous when you think about it for like half a second, because they didn't know it was Bailey until she came out. So how do they have sources telling them that it's a one night deal?
Right. Yeah. Kind of just.
Don't make no sense. The match was good. Crowd was super into Bailey, and Sasha was good. Charlotte, to her credit, was
hmm
also good. Sasha beats Charlotte by
Yeah.
submission, and that
Right.
was the match. Sasha Banks would go on. We'll talk a little bit since we have the ability to have already had two shows after Battleground. Sasha would go on to
Right.
win the women's title the following night on Raw, which I feel they should have saved that for SummerSlam, but obviously they don't agree with me.
hmm No, they're just gonna blow it early.
Yeah, like it
Like,
doesn't have the same splendor as defending the title at SummerSlam versus winning it.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like hasn't this been the theme for the last few things where it's like, what are they gonna do at SummerSlam?
Well, they've got a pretty good card, uh, but yeah, like it
hmm
seems like there are some things that should have been on SummerSlam that weren't, and I don't know how to I can't handle it. I just can't. So Moving down
Yeah.
the card, we had the one of two six-man tag matches on this pay-per-view, actually.
Yeah, we got just a lot of bodies in this card tonight.
Yeah, so we had the Wyatt family and the configuration of Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Braun Strowman. McChuckle's babyface. And they went up against the New Day, Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods after their weird not final deletion compound match.
Yeah. Yeah. And like that hypnosis. Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole hypnosis storyline. They finally got the business in the ring. It was a pretty solid back and forth match. Xavier Woods and Bray Wyatt were still doing their weird intimidation thing until Woods snapped out of it, started going nuts on everyone, and then got Sister Abigail, and the Wyatt family won. The same Wyatt family, mind you, that got split up in the draft and is not challenging for the WWE Tag Team titles. So the win here, while nice to see the Wyatts win, kind of out of place.
Yeah, it just kind of got thrown to the wind there, that belt.
It's just, I don't know. I guess the club is the next program for the tag team titles, but speaking of matches that were just kind of out there, and this is the problem with this match. Not this one, but the next one, Rusev versus Zack Ryder. Both the mid-card title matches were interpromotional. So the idea was it could end up on either brand, but if the titles were going to switch, they were going to both switch.
Right. You couldn't
Yeah.
just have one.
So while I could see Darren Young beating The Miz, because, he got back and, he's somewhat over because Bob Backlund's his manager, there was no way in hell that Zack Ryder was going over Rusev.
Right.
So you knew how these were going to end. I can't really say much about it. They put on a decent match with the time they were given. They tried to make it seem like Zack Ryder could possibly win, but never really bought into it.
Yeah. It was just kind of just kind of there.
Yeah, Rusev wins with the accolade. It was pretty much every Rusev title defense from leading up to WrestleMania 31 when he was undefeated. Before he ran into...
okay. I was trying to remember which one, because I remember I actually kind of like this one a little bit. Just because when I was looking at it, I'm like, these guys have really good fundamentals. And it was like a really good fundamentals match,
Yeah, I'm not saying
where they're just
bad.
breaking out the classics. Yeah.
Yeah, there were some good spots in it, and like I said, it was a solid match for the time they were given. It's just, it was hard to invest yourself in this match when you're like, yeah, there's no way Zack Ryder's going to win this. Although I will admit, I got a little excited when he hit the Rough Rider and went for the pin. I was like, are they going to do it? And then no, they didn't. And we move on.
Swept it out.
To the match of the night.
Yep. Yes. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. What a story.
This was a barn burner of a match. It was I would say it was fire from the word go, but it really wasn't. It kind of started off a little slow, but it built to this beautiful crescendo that was a great matchup of a great mix of, in-ring action and storytelling.
Yeah, I love the whole narrative of the fight. Like, you could really tell their different styles that were going in. You saw Sami Zayn do a lot of really nice rope stuff. He was up there going and really he was coming in creative places, and he was trying a lot of, to me, new things. I hadn't really seen a lot of what he was throwing down there. And then you see Kevin Owens with just these brutal controlling, sections where he's just got Sami Zayn. There's nothing that can happen,
Yeah, and you saw and from the psychology standpoint, you saw the these were two former best friends, now bitter enemies, and there was a point in the match where Kevin was getting the heat on Sami, and he was like, "Don't make me do this," and he, hit him down again, and he's like, he doesn't want to beat on this person who was his friend so
Hmm.
much. And then there was a point where, like, when we got to the finish of the match, Sami Zayn hit the haluva kick in the corner, and he like was holding Kevin Owens up, and he looked down on him, and you like could see in his face, like everything going through his mind about his friend here, and like the
Hmm.
like conflict, and then he just put him back up in the corner and did another haluva kick and pinned him. And I thought that was great.
Yeah.
This match was a little too good, and I say this for a couple of reasons. These guys are both on Raw, and you can have the whole page turn, whatever. They're not going to fight each other for a while, but the fact that they're both on Raw just feels incorrect. One should have been on SmackDown, and I feel like if Sammy had won this match and it wasn't like this absolute classic that it was, they could have done another match at SummerSlam with a loser leaves Raw stipulation. So you get one of them
Right.
on SmackDown and the other on Raw, and then you can have them stay apart for a couple of years. But you
Mhm.
really can't do that now. You
Well,
can't have
yeah,
these
kind of like
guys.
where it is now. It's gonna lose some of its edge if they're just gonna keep bumping.
Yeah, I mean, you can keep them apart, fine. I think SmackDown needs another body, to be perfectly honest with you. So I would have liked to have seen a loser leaves Raw match of some stripe. But this match was great. If you haven't
Yeah.
seen it yet, you owe it to yourself. Go out and watch it. I'm going to
And
watch it after we
just the thing,
finish
I
here.
I love that match. Just so good. And,
Yeah, my match of the year
yep.
as of right
And
now.
what sealed? Yeah. For me, like the thing that just sealed the deal, like the icing on the cake was, you said the haluba kick was like what finished it, and through the whole match, you could really see them both just getting super worn down of this intense clash. And if you remember, how did they start the match? Sami Zayn came right out and tried to do a haluba kick, and Kevin just totally like was God's number and went out of there
Yeah,
because he was on top of his game. But like you could see through the attrition and the physical endurance being worn out. That was the same move they started. They missed in the beginning was the one that got him the win in the end.
yeah.
And it's like came full circle. I'm like, perfect.
Just an absolute barn burner of a match. Match of the night, and a lot of historically good nights. Like, I'd put this match up against. It's as good a match as I've seen in the last 5 years. It's as good as matches Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have had anywhere they've been, honestly.
Hmm.
So, from that good match, we have to have a match that's not so good to wear down the crowd. And unfortunately, that onus came on Natalya and Becky Lynch, which wasn't a terrible match, but it was a little slow
Hmm.
and it was a little plotting, and Natalya won,
Yeah.
which didn't make much sense.
No, but it was definitely like it just kind of buzzed out for me after just the super high of that match, and it's just like in that light, in that context, yeah, it just didn't feel as special, or really good, but it was, it's a solid match.
Yeah, I mean, these are two women who know how to work a good match, and they worked a good match. Like, they were given enough time to get all their shit in, and the finish just... It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and especially since Becky got her win back on SmackDown the following Tuesday. What even was the point? And now Natalia's feuding with Carmella, and I think Becky's feuding with Eva Marie. God help us. Yeah, such a waste. But yeah, like, it just... This whole feud kind of, like, didn't do anything. Like, it didn't accomplish anything. There was no comeuppance served here. It didn't get either of them more over than they were when they started. It was just something for them to do while they figured out who was going to be on what show and how to handle the women on each show.
Right.
Speaking of matches that kind of sucked, The Miz versus Darren Young. The Miz with Maurice versus Darren Young with Bob Backlund. This
Yep.
match was right up until the end, which I still am not sure what the hell happened. So let me rewind this for those of you who are curious as to how this went down. So they're doing the match, right? And then on the outside, Maurice is getting a little too involved, and Bob Backlund gets in her face because he's a crazy old man. Maurice slaps Bob Backlund, who takes this crazy over-the-top bump that a man his age should not be taking. And then Maurice falls on her ass. And then Miz turns and sees this, and I think Maurice was trying to get him to think that Bob Backlund had hit her. And then Miz goes outside to get in Bob Backlund's face, knocks him down, he takes another bump. He gets back up and starts tearing off his shirt, unsuccessfully, mind you. It got caught in his suspenders, and it's just this weird draping fabric from his suspenders. And then Darren Young goes out, sees all this nonsense, puts him in what I'm guessing was supposed to be a cross-face chicken wing, but really didn't look like a cross-face chicken wing. And then the ref rings the bell, and I guess I'm reading right here that it was ruled a double disqualification.
Yeah.
But man, that finish was just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that, like, I don't know. I feel like that was a lot in that match. There's a lot of, like, just out of context, like, why is that in here?
Yeah, and like, the match itself wasn't very good. It was a lot of headlocks because neither Darren Young or Miz are particularly good at wrestling. They're not terrible, but they're just not particularly good. It was what it was. Hopefully, Miz finally loses the IC title at SummerSlam. Because I think we need
yeah, so that was
blood.
that match. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it.
It was just there.
It was
to
just
have.
it was there and it was crazy.
Yeah, it was there to have an IC title match on the card. And then we go to the second 6-man tag of the evening, which was John Cena, Enzo Amore, and Colin Cassidy versus the Club, AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows. The match time I'm reading here is listed at 14 minutes and 30 seconds, but I think there was about 10 minutes of promo work by Enzo.
What was
before
this?
the
Like,
match
what was
started.
this whole thing?
Enzo goes out and he takes the mic, and he just spits hot fire for like 10 minutes.
So good.
So hot that John Cena is just in the corner
So
being
hype.
like,
Right? Like, I wasn't like...
yeah, he's just in the corner being like, the hell is this guy? Like John Cena, the guy who never shuts up himself, is rendered speechless by Enzo Amore. He bows to Enzo Amore and is like, I can't follow that. And like, this guy can go out there and read the phone book and get over. His delivery is that on. No, I could see them doing it. I could see him and Cass coming out, him opening the phone book, being like, Adam Applegale, and then Cass going, how you doing? And then they just go through the phone book that entire way, and it would get over like gangbusters.
Yes. Oh.
I think they should do that.
For me, this was like a super surprise because, like, I didn't look at the card before. I come in pretty blank. I like to come in fresh faced to these things, and they're doing their whole thing, and like when John Cena comes in, I'm like, what? Why is John Cena with Enzo Amore and Big Cass? Like, what are they trying here? Is he gonna fight them? Are they? Oh wait, no, they're on the same team.
So yeah, the build for this match was that the Club was doing their whole hashtag beat up John Cena shtick, which was amazing. Oh my god, those promos were so great. It's like, hey Carl, what are you gonna do next Sunday? He's like, oh, thanks for asking, AJ. Well, I think I'm gonna beat up John Cena. Just classic promos. And then they made the claim that no one in the back was going to stand up for John Cena because John Cena has no friends in the back. And out come Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy to try to turn John Cena babyface at long last with their popularity. and they had his back, and it led to this
Oh
six-man
man.
tag match, which I thought would be a vehicle for John Cena to pick up a win without having to pin AJ Styles. However, the finish to this match showed me that I was a pie in the sky optimist for believing that for even a second.
Yeah. It's like I don't know, just so much about that match made me say like there are a lot of players in this that didn't need to be going. Like even them in the match, like I felt like none of
Yeah,
the people wanted to wrestle with John Cena. Like John Cena at one point was the legal man, he was in the ring, and then like the the other team is going up. They're still like going to Enzo. They like turn away and they go start fighting, picking a fight with Enzo.
I don't think anyone knew who the
I'm
legal man was for the last half of this match.
no,
Certainly didn't seem like it. Like the legal guys are brawling on the outside, and then like two people who haven't been tagged in the match in 15 minutes are taking bumps in the ring, and it was a mess. It was an entertaining mess, but a mess nonetheless. And then it ends with John Cena giving the super FU to AJ Styles off the second rope and pinning him. Why you decided to pin AJ Styles, I don't know. However, I will say this: I've been hearing some rumors about the SummerSlam results, and what I'm hearing is going to make us happy campers because I'm hearing that AJ Styles is going over John Cena at their match at SummerSlam. I'm hearing Finn Balor is going over in their match at SummerSlam. Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Universal title, which is probably the worst named belt in the history of belts. And Randy Orton, I'm hearing now, is going to go over Brock Lesnar.
wow, yeah, that's a lineup if I ever heard
The
it.
thing about that, though, is like when I first heard that, I'm like, why? That's such a waste. You spend 2 years making everyone else look like geeks at the expense of Brock Lesnar so that you can, have a young guy go over him and get super over. And then you're going to give it to Randy Orton. And then I thought a little more about it. I'm like, actually, that's pretty brilliant because Randy Orton hasn't been super relevant, a super big name player for a while. And what better way to, like, reestablish his main event dominance by having him beat Brock Lesnar, who hasn't been beaten clean in like 2 years.
Yeah, and they kind of said as much on that whole like highlight reel.
Yes, we have the
Dealio.
highlight reel segment. Well, the transition into Randy Orton, I planned that immaculately. So Chris Jericho comes out with the highlight reel and he introduces his guest, Randy Orton, who emerges with pants, which is a look I'm not used to seeing Randy Orton have. And he seemed motivated. He seemed really happy to be back. I haven't seen him give this much of a shit since like 2009. And I thought he had a pretty good promo, especially the line everyone was talking about, the no enhancement needed line, which was hilarious given
that was
the fact
cute.
that Randy Orton himself has been popped for performance-enhancing drugs twice in his career.
Oh, jeez,
the
I
line was still
didn't know
fire.
that, but
Yeah, well,
I guess
mean,
that's just the skill, the promo stuff.
yeah, he had 2 wellness violations, and his name was on the whatever pharmaceutical company from Florida that was giving steroids to pro athletes. His name was on the list of clients. But I thought this segment was good. Jericho like egged him on. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna hit an RKO out of nowhere! Ooh, spooky, scary!" And then he kept egging him on, and he kept looking at it. And then Randy Orton faked he was gonna hit him with an RKO, and Chris shit himself. And then he started laughing, and then he popped up and hit him with an RKO. And that was the segment.
You're like, oh my gosh, he did it! Yay!
So this segment ended at like
Just a nice little.
5 minutes of 11. So I'm like, okay, they're going overtime on this pay-per-view. Because the main event hadn't started yet. And we moved to the main event. One of the few really big matches WWE has in its arsenal, and they put it out on Battleground. So Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Guys come out. Guys have really good match. A
Really?
match that would have been match of the night most nights, but not
Mhm.
tonight. They all did your typical triple threat. One guy gets hit down, and then the other two fight for a while, and then Seth and Dean, who have been in a blood feud for the better part of a year and a half, set aside their differences to beat the shit out of Roman Reigns, to the explosion of applause from the crowd.
Yes. I love that when they're going back and forth and one is like, yeah, boo, yeah, boo. So great. And we saw plenty of the classic, you gotta make Roman look really strong.
Really, really strong. So they double team Roman for a while, and they go for the old assisted powerbomb spot they did all the time in the Shield on Roman through the Spanish announce table. They hit it. He's out for a while, but then he gets back up because Roman Reigns has to look really, really strong. He battles back. He and Seth Rollins are getting into it. Seth Rollins gets hit with a spear from Roman Reigns, and then Dean Ambrose runs in, hits Dirty Deeds on Roman Reigns, and pins Roman Reigns clean in the middle. For the first time in like 2 years. Well, actually, no. Seth Rollins was the first time in like 2 years he'd been pinned clean in the middle. So he ate a second clean loss in a row, and then the following Monday on Raw, he lost clean to Finn Balor in a number one contenders match. So he has eaten 3 straight clean losses, and I guess he's kind of in the doghouse for his wellness violation.
Yikes.
Really good match. Yeah, happy to see Dean win. He deserves it. They established him as a credible champion here, I felt, because they, had him go over 2 of the most pushed guys that they've had in a while. Since it's been a couple weeks, let's run through our prospective SummerSlam card. So we have, let me pull it up. We have John Cena versus AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton, Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Universal Championship, Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler, of all people, for the WWE Championship. I don't know. I feel like this could be good. Like they've got a good story going on SmackDown right now, I feel. What else? Charlotte versus Sasha Banks for the women's title. And probably the New Day versus the Club for the tag titles. The Miz versus Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship. And Roman Reigns versus Rusev for the United States Championship. I guess we're going to find out how far Reigns has fallen, if he wins here or not. I think this is the right spot on the card for him, and I think him being in a mid-card title feud like that is going to help him immensely to get over. If he stays down there for a while, I think it can really help him repair his image. And, we don't hate Roman Reigns. He's a good wrestler. He's, from all accounts, a nice guy.
Yeah.
But
he just has this whole reputation, just Roman and then Roman 1. That's just really soured everything.
He was just pushed too far too fast, and he didn't have time to organically get over. So hopefully, being down in the mid-card will either make WWE finally pull the trigger on a heel turn, or maybe he'll just gradually get more and more over when he's not in the thick of the main event scene. So, SummerSlam card looks really promising. Really looking forward to that. That was it for Battleground, though. Overall, like I said, very good show. If you haven't watched it yet, I recommend that you do that. Just skip the Miz, Darren Young,
the Miz Darren Young fight,
whatever that was. I don't even know if we can call it a match. Event.
Goofing around.
Oh. Definitely watch the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens match. I think I'm going to do that as soon as we're done here.
Yep. Just go back and just be like, just soak it in.
Drink it in, man. Um, so yeah, that's gonna be it for us, and I hope you all enjoyed our thoughts on Battleground. We will be bringing you our SummerSlam review on the 25th or 26th of August. It will be our face-to-face reunion. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you for watching the Saturn Slam review of Battleground 2016. We will get back at you with SummerSlam and stuff. Pew pew, double guns. I don't know. I'm just going to end the episode. I don't know what I'm doing.